Hello there. My name is Tom McDonald, and I'm a proud Second Amendment supporter, guns rights advocate, and member of the board of directors for the Illinois State Rifle Association. Today, I want to talk to you about gun control's racist history. You see, the liberal anti-gun control movement that we're seeing here in Illinois and in states like California, New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey is no different than the gun control movement after the Civil War that was meant to do one thing: keep guns out of the hands of freed slaves. That's right. Back then, gun laws were not meant to take the guns out of the hands of bad people. They were meant to keep guns out of the hands of black Americans and minorities. The first gun control law that passed in America was in Virginia in 1639, when a law was passed banning black Americans from owning guns for fear of an armed insurrection. What better way for slave owners to control keeping slaves unarmed? Imagine an unarmed slaves rebelling or creating an uprising against their heavily armed slave owners. That was never going to happen under those gun control laws. In 1680, Virginia passed another law that kept black people from having the right to self-defense if attacked by a white person. With the Dred Scott decision, United States Supreme Court Justice Roger B. Taney ruled that freed black Americans were not citizens because if they were citizens, they would have the right to keep, I quote, keep and bear arms wherever they went, end of quote. In Ida B. Wells' book, Southern Horrors, the journalist and early civil rights activist wrote in the late 1800s that it was the armed black Americans that were the only ones to escape lynchings because they were able to defend themselves with firearms. Wells also said in 1892, and I quote, "A Winchester rifle should have a place of honor in every black American home, and it should be used for that protection which the law refuses to give," end of quote. Years later, and after World War I, during the rise of the Ku Klux Klan, Rosa Parks and her grandfather would sit on his front porch in Alabama with a shotgun to protect the family home. Again, it's hard even for slave owners and the Ku Klux Klan to terrorize a certain group of people when they're armed. In 2010, right here in Chicago, a very special man, Otis McDonald, and life member of the ISRA, with the help of the ISRA, filed a lawsuit against the city of Chicago's unconstitutional gun ban. If you remember, Otis's neighborhood on the southwest side of Chicago, the Morgan Park area, was getting dangerous. There were gangs, drug dealers everywhere, and it wasn't safe. And he was being threatened. His house had been broken into 3 times, and he wanted to purchase a handgun for protection. But he couldn't because of Chicago's handgun ban. So he sued the city of Chicago, a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the handgun ban was overturned because the ban was in violation of his Second Amendment rights. Now think about that for a minute. A 76-year-old man, an Army veteran, who served and protected our country, couldn't even protect himself and his family because of liberal anti-gun politicians that want to keep their law-abiding citizens unarmed. But thanks to Otis, who was lead plaintiff, along with Adam Olaf, Colleen, and David Lawson, law-abiding citizens of the city of Chicago are able to own handguns and exercise their Second Amendment rights. Otis and the other plaintiffs got the Second Amendment wheel turning for what came next: Madigan versus Moore and Shepard, the case that gave the state of Illinois the right to concealed carry. We will cover more about these and other landmark cases in a future video. Thanks to Otis McDonald and all of the other plaintiffs, we now have concealed carry, and now the elderly, single moms, and everyday people like you and me can protect ourselves from danger. Otis McDonald represented greatness, and he was a true patriot, advocate, civil rights leader with a wonderful heart and soul, and I was very fortunate to be a part of his life. He's one of my personal heroes and was an inspiration to me to get involved with advocating for the Second Amendment and becoming a firearms instructor. In 2014, the Second Amendment community lost a hero, and we lost a brother. But Otis's legacy lives on in many ways, including through the work of one of his favorite organizations, the Illinois State Rifle Association. If Otis were still alive today, he would be proud of his ISRA family and how we keep fighting against these anti-gun liberal politicians just like he did. Keeping people unarmed is not just another reminder of our country's racist past, but it allows the bad people to continue terrorizing the good ones. And we can't let that happen. We can't let politicians in Chicago and Springfield bring us back to the 1800s. Let's keep Otis's legacy alive and never back down because our lives depend on it. If you are currently a member of the ISRA, thanks for being part of the fight, and you are supporting our efforts to protect legal, responsible gun ownership, and we thank you. If you are not a member of the ISRA, now is the time to join and be part of the fight. We need the support of every gun owner in Illinois and anywhere else. Our website is isra.org, and please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I hope to see you on April 18th at iGold in Springfield. Thank you.